Okay, hi everyone, it's Amy Pryor with you today. This is the first of my tutorials for Lily of the Valley kit with Scrap Muse. I hope you're enjoying going through the contents of this kit as much as I have, because I am just so in love with this kit. I love the colours and I love the versatility. The papers are very neutral and there is lots of possibility. That's why I've given quite a large range of flower colours with this kit and some paints as well. So today I'm going to start off with a layout. I've just got a photo here of me with my daughter. Now I really want to have kind of this photo here, and then I'm going to just have a title up the corner up here, maybe just draw that eye in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some paint to the background. Now I've got my Basil 12-inch card shop in Marshmallow. This is really good quality cardstock. It's absolutely glorious for mixed media work. It's double the thickness. You just have to make sure that you cut off. Since American Crafts has taken ownership of Basil, they've got this lovely little strip here. It is very small, so it's easy to think that it's a 12 by 12 page, but it's not until you've cut that strip off. So make sure you do that, otherwise they won't fit into your albums. So I've already done that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with some inklings. So in your kit you have got Good as Gold colour inklings, which is this beautiful, beautiful gold colour. And we've got Beats Me. Now this is my favourite Shimmers Inklings colour. Anyone who knows me probably can see why. Now I just wanted to show you these inklings. Actually, I have had these sitting with water overnight. You don't have to leave them that long. I just did it before I went to bed. So they start off as this hard surface that you can almost, doesn't feel like it's paint at all. What it is, it's just like a normal watercolour palette where you can just grab a paintbrush with water or a water brush and just pick up a bit of that colour and go straight on there. So this is a green colour that I'm just showing you what it's like when it's not been sitting for a bit. But I like to just spray a bit of water in them. So what I do is I just grab my spray bottle and I kind of fill it up to the top and put my lid back on and let that sit for a while. Good, 15-20 minutes is all that you need really to get it to this consistency. And what I've got here, I'll just clean the green off my brush. Use a regular paintbrush. Once it's mixed with that water, it becomes this just beautiful, beautiful creamy paint paste kind of. And this can be watered down more. It obviously will last you a lot longer the more you water it down, and if you're just using it with a wet brush as the hard paint, then it's obviously going to last a lot longer. But I just love when it's just this gooey blob. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean that off because that was still wet. Glorious baby wipes. Now, to add the colour, I'm just going to add a ton of water. Just put that onto spray setting. So I have got a lot of water on there, and with regular cardstock you would not be able to do this without it buckling and pilling. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to, see, I really want that water to pick it up. I'm just kind of going in this weird diamond shape. It just seems to be my favourite shape to do at the moment. And then when I've got enough pink down, I'm just going to get some on my brush and just tap some blobs here and there, just to make that look like it was this accidental pattern. So as you can see, there's no real method. I have just splodged it on. That's one of my favourite words to use, which I don't even know if it is a word, but I have splodged it. So I'm going to get the pink off my brush. I'm just cleaning with a baby wipe because I'm super good with cleaning up. Now I'm going to add a bit of this gold. Now, just because I said this has been sitting, I've just got to mix that up a bit, make sure it's all consistent, the coloured pigments as well as the shimmer. I love the shimmer in these, it's just so subtle and pretty. So I'm just want to add some of this gold. I don't want it to take over the pink. I don't want it to really mix up with the pink. I just want to get some of it on there. I'm going to add some splats too. And just add a bit more water. So I'm just going to, because that was just a bit too pasty, just could have used a bit more water in there. Just going to mix that up a bit. And so I'm letting them mix a little bit, but I'm trying to control. So there is still definite pink and orangey gold area. I'm just going to pull up some of that puddles because there is a lot of puddles there. Paper towel would probably be better, but I've got a baby wipe in my hand. So I don't want to lose too much of the colour by taking it off. I just want to pick up those really big puddles. And so that's just going to dry a bit. While I've got these inklings out, I'm just going to paint this chipboard. So these are chipboard words that come in your kit. I've got Capture and Beauty. Pardon me. I'm just going to paint these with a bit of the Good as Gold inklings. Now I'm just going to grab a bit of the Beats Me again. Not that one. Oh yes. Just going to clean my brush off a little bit. I love baby wipes, seriously. I use them too much. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit of the pink, just randomly. So I'm barely touching, so that's plenty. Okay, so I'll just clean this up and dry this off with my heat tool. This actually has a much nicer effect if you let it dry naturally, but I don't really let anything dry naturally because I'm very impatient. I'm just going to heat that up and dry that off. Okay, so that is almost all dry. I just want to add a bit more pink to it. I'm loving this coral colour that has come from the two mixing together, but I just want to bring back more pink because I love pink. I've also accidentally burnt the paper a bit. Yeah, that happens a lot when you use a heat gun, especially if you're impatient like me. Go closer because I want it to dry quicker. But yes, anyway, So I'll just grab that Beats Me colour. I might just add a bit more water to that because I have used a fair bit of it. And we're just going to grab the paintbrush. So I'll just check is clean-ish. This time I'm just going to add some more drips everywhere. So I just want to mix that up to that creamy texture again. And so I'm just going to really dribbling this all over the place. Obviously too, being mindful of where my photo is going to go because we don't want to waste too much, so there's no real point putting anything in the middle here because that's going to be covered up. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm just going to fill this up with more water just so it's ready for the next time I use it. And this is just what I do every time because, like I said, I prefer it when it's that nice, thick, creamy paint as opposed to the full-on watercolor paints. Just find you get a lot more nice pigment color that way. Now I'm just going to spray a bit of this. Just a tad. I just want a little bit of movement in those blobs. And now I'll dry it all again. Okay, so I'm just going to bend this paper just a little bit. This is not warped anywhere near as much as other cardstock would be with that much water, but there is a slight warping, and I'm just kind of fixing that up. Okay, now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add some stenciling. Now you've got this beautiful Prima stencil, I believe it's called Stone or something, I don't know, I really don't know what it's called. Yeah, it's pretty. We're going to use this Patina textures paste from Shimmers. So this is a texture paste. It is a thick modeling cream consistency of a paint, but it also has this just like sand or some kind of, like, you can hear there's like the grittiness in there, and you can really see this just beautiful, slightly shimmery, full of texture, and the colour's gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some randomly over where I've painted. I don't want to add too much because this stencil is quite busy, and I don't want to take away the colour that I've added in the background. Again, I'm going to be mindful of where my photo is being placed. I'm just going to hear that scratching, that sand and grittiness in it. I'm just going to add a bit here, a bit there. So as you can see, there's no real method. I'm just going randomly. I am trying, sort of keeping the pattern controlled, but I'm just going to clean this off. Okay, so now I need to just dry off that blue texture paste. Okay, so we have, the background is finished. Just checking it's all dry. Yay! Okay, so now we're going to get our layers ready. So one thing I love to do is add lots and lots of different layers. So I'm just going to start working out my layering. Now what I want to do, got a few of the papers here from the kit. I probably am going to just stick with the Epiphany collection papers for this particular layout, just because I don't want to have too much of that black contrast. I think this layout's becoming a very soft pastel-y layout. I think the black might be a bit too much. So I'm going to grab this one. Got my letter stickers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mount the photo to start off with. I just want to get a bit of this browny gold colour on the photo, so I'll probably mount about there and trim it off about 1 millimetre. What I'll do is I will just with a distress tool and distress the photo. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some expressive tape. Just around. I'm just going to place this on here. So that little bit showing in the top right corner. And what I'm going to do is I'll cut this out. I don't want to cut too much. I want to use this paper for a few other layouts to come. So what I've created this crazy thick border because I'm just going to rip around here. Now I want to make sure that I have my white edges core showing. So I'm going to rip from right to left. If I rip that way, the core isn't showing. So I'm just going to really carefully, I'm not trying to be perfect, I'm just trying to keep the border around the photo as much as possible. I don't want it to go too thin or too thick. Little chunky bits out. There we go. Keep these scraps, they might be useful. Okay, so I want to bring a bit more of that colour into the layers. I don't think I'm going to use too much paper. I just want to add a subtle piece. So what I'm going to do is I've just ripping some. This is clear as day. I'm just going to rip a square, a rectangle just going to add some Beats Me Inklings paint just all over. Now while I let that dry, I'm just going to fussy cut these butterflies. I've just got a couple of butterflies there. Okay, so I'm just going to add a really small piece of black into the layering as well. I don't want it to be full black. This will work nicely. I'm just going to rip this one up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of the Good as Gold inklings to this colour, just again bringing some of these colours back into the papers so my layering has some of that colour from that background. So again, we're showing the versatility of these papers. They're just so pretty, neutral colours. Now I've just seen another element that I just want to add into the page. I'm just going to fussy cut this bird page out because I think he will look very cute dangling here from our just there. I think he'll look very cute up where the title's going to go. I really do want to keep these beads as well, so I'm just going to give this a slight border. Okay, so I'm going to dangle him up there. I've got my butterflies as well. Now just to keep in with the torn paper look, I'm just going to grab a nail file. I don't file my nails, I just use these for art. I'm just going to really gently file this paper down a bit. And these intricate bits, the risk of doing that, well, that's right, we have glue. So just distresses those edges a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to doily. Maybe the paint wasn't quite dry. I'm just going to add this doily to my photo. Just wanting to be really subtly poking out in the corner there. I'm just going to add my other paper layers that are nice and dry now. Other rules that I have, I mean, I don't really like to make rules at all. I think that all creativity should be free of rules and regulations. But one thing I get asked all the time is how I layer my papers together. The rule that I do kind of use is I add each piece of paper with the thought that two sides are going to be exposed. So I don't usually go one side. I don't usually three sides. I just usually have just the two sides poking out a little bit. for each piece of paper. But there is always that time where I don't do that. So I just really want a really small amount of that black poking through. So I'm just putting that right to the edge there. And so I'm going to add that to the layout now. So I'm ready to stick him down. I just might put him on a bit of an angle like that. Just speaking to me. So I'm going to add some double-sided tape. Just around that. What I'm also going to do, I'm going to add some Express It clear glue as well. Just I find that the double-sided tape is not as permanent when it's on something like a textured background that I've painted, especially when it's shimmer paints. So I'm just going to add a couple of blobs just for that added security that if I have this hanging on the wall or something, it's not going to fall down. So I'm going to stick that on there. Now, so it's sort of stuck. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding some flowers. There's lots of pretty flowers in this kit, which is just makes me super happy. So I think that I'm going to maybe add, so it's going to go there. And we've got our title is going to go here somewhere. So we want some flowers that are going to complement these beautiful colours. Maybe put a beautiful pink one up there. Some of these beautiful hip rosebuds, which are just divine. Bring that aqua back into it a bit. Maybe a bit of the orange. Yeah. Maybe just a bit. That orange up there too. So probably have a butterfly here. Butterfly up here maybe. Cover that burnt bit. And then maybe a little butterfly up here. And the rest of the bow there. So I think that's pretty much how I'm going to lay this out. I'm not sure if I'm going to add some black flowers into this. These darker purple ones might work better because they're a bit more dulled down than the black, but I've also got the option of painting these just like I did with the paper. Actually, I'll just see what it's going to look like. I'm just going to dip it in there really. Oh, that's pretty. So there's another option again, so I'll let that dry. Make one more. So I'm just dipping that in that nice creamy paint, the inklings. I'll let that dry. I'll use them as well. And there's also lots of beautiful leaves in this, and I just can't help but use lots of leaves, my flower clusters. I'll just go with a little blue for up there. I'm just going to use the smaller leaves. I think these are rose leaves from memory. We might just add one of these other leaves as well as we come to it. So I'm just going to also pick some letter stickers because I want this title to actually say capture the beauty of you. So I'm thinking we will use, now I've got my non-stick heat resistant mat here, so I'm just going to put the letter stickers on there until I'm ready to use them. So I might do the in these circle ones because I love the font on them. Okay, so capture the beauty, and I'll just say of in these ones. So we've got the rest of our title there ready. I might just actually use one of these stickers as well. I'll just use this pure happiness. So I'm going to distress this sticker. I'm going to just have sticking here somewhere, maybe put them on the last minute. Alright, so I'm going to use my Express It clear gel glue to stick all these down. You just want to add a really small amount of the glue, otherwise that'll take forever to dry. Okay, so I'm just going to add a few of these spirals before I do my journaling. Just use my food ball pen for journaling, but I want to add some little spirals. If you've never done these before, they're really simple. Just using any wire, but it's obviously very economic to use the wires that of the flowers you already used. So you're just going to get this and wind it around something like this is a very small circular nail file. Use a pick. I mean, anything that's got, even the handle of a paintbrush can work. I'm just going to stick a few of these just here, there and everywhere. Okay, so the final step is to add a bit of journaling. It is the most important part of scrapbooking. I'm going to use one of these Ranger Ink Dinah Wakley food ball pens. Just want to get the ball rolling, so to speak. I want to just test it on a bit of paper. So I'm just going to add some journaling down the bottom here, and I'm going to include this sticker that says pure happiness as part of my journaling. So I do that a lot, especially with word stickers, mainly because it's just an easier way to have a jumping off point for journaling. I find I really struggle with this part of scrapbooking, mainly because I hate my handwriting, but I also seem to never find the right words. So pure happiness is when I'm with you. Sounds cheesy enough. So pure happiness is when I'm with you. Mum and Mia, 2007. And that's good enough for me. I'm just going to add 3 dots so you can see that that's part of the sentence. And I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out. So I think I'm going to finish up now. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. It really isn't much thinking that goes on when I'm creating. I want you to really understand that one of my main philosophies in creative process is that I try not to think. If I am thinking and stressing about a piece for way too long, and I mean like more than half an hour, I need to put it away and come back another day. It's just me. If I think about it too much, it becomes work, and I never am happy with what I accomplish. So I just let loose, don't overthink things, and just go for it and have fun, which is what it's supposed to be about. And I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial. I hope that you have got some ideas. You can go ahead and recreate this layout 100%. You have all the products needed. You just need to add a black pen, some glue, double-sided tape, or you can just use some of the techniques. This watercolor technique on the background has become very popular. A lot of people have been asking me how to do this one. It is one of my favorite techniques at the moment, especially with the Shimmers Inklings. Yeah, so have fun. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask me anything in the forum. The forum will be open forever. You can ask me questions whenever you like. Please be mindful that you're not sharing the passwords with anyone. This is exclusive just for you guys who have purchased this kit, and we would love to keep it that way. Thanks so much, guys. Bye!